All right, hello and welcome. Another WRWC Wednesday Live, and we have another star-studded cast with us today to talk about all things Women's Rodeo World Championships. Thanks for joining us. Sorry that we're just a couple minutes late, 3 minutes late, a little bit tardy. It's my bad. I want to introduce our guest today, and I would like to start with the ladies first. We have Billie Bray with Northern Breakaway Championships and Team Roping. Welcome, Billie.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah. Sammy Jo Smith on our team, the head of the VRQ on our team at the WCRA.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. Chris Neal with Chris Neal Roping Productions and Rising Stars and Las Vegas Stars and Oklahoma's Richest. And what am I leaving out? There's one more.
Future Stars.
Future Stars. Yes. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And Scott Davis, WCRA Vice President. Hey, Scott.
Howdy.
Howdy. So bring your questions today. If you don't know why we're here, I'm going to tell you that in just a second. We're super excited. We're talking all things Women's Rodeo World Championship, and that's the event that's coming up the first part of November during the PBR World Finals, and it's at the South Point Arena. Guaranteed payout of $750,000. And there's 4 disciplines competing: heeling, where you can tie on, heading, breakaway roping. And we're going to talk a lot about breakaway roping today, specifically the challenger path in breakaway roping, and then also barrel racing. Can't leave the barrel racers out. And so I'll share just a little bit of information right quick and pull this up really quick. Again, the Women's Rodeo World Championships are November 6th and 7th is the actual performances. And it starts the 3rd through the 7th. And we have our preliminary competitions, and we can get into all of that. But basically, we're bringing 24 athletes into the performances, and you're running at $750,000 guaranteed payout, a $20,000 all-around bonus, and just a whole bunch of money, a $60,000 first place payout per discipline, all 4 disciplines. And Billie, I don't know if you've had a chance, but you were a part of a small group of industry experts that really weighed into this event and the culmination of this event, and our partners with the PBR. Talk a little bit, if you had an opinion about equal money for all 4 disciplines.
Well, honestly, it was an honor to be on the board to listen to our opinions about how to make the rodeo the best it could be. I thought it was just amazing. $750,000. I think I had said earlier that there's very few events in our industry that even add $750,000. Very, very, very few. And the fact that they would divide it up and make it equal money was amazing. Amazing. Breakaway, barrel racing, header, heeler, amazing. So it was a great opportunity. The fact that you guys listened to us, took, what we had, I guess, wanted, not having to wait like the team ropers have waited in Canada or here in the PRCA. Most of the guys that rodeo today in the PRCA and the rodeos I go to don't even have equal money. So wow, what an honor.
Very good. And did you contend for that? I bet you did, or at least I heard that you did.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Well, let's just kick it off here. And Scott, today we're going to be talking about the challenger path, these challenger ropings, and talk a little bit about this concept and why the WCRA chose to introduce this competition path within the Women's Rodeo World Championships. Kind of talk about the origin of this.
Sure thing, JD. Yeah, thanks for having me back. I think it's been a couple of weeks, but last time I was on, we spoke specifically about the challenger. And so hopefully there's folks tuning in today that want to learn a little more, because we have some really, I think, really exciting news with our 2 guests today that we're going to announce here shortly that have to do with the challenger. But as I mentioned last time I was on, we've taken a different approach to rodeo in general, I think, and that's been intentional. In the other rodeo disciplines of team roping and barrel racing, we talked about this in that last Facebook Live, that they've had enormous growth over the years. And we believe and we know, and there's absolute evidence to support it, that the 5D system in the barrel racing and the handicap system in team roping has created the wealth of that growth. And so we see similar growth potentials across all of rodeo. And the place that we decided to debut that and the challenger pool of competition was at the Women's World Championship. One of the reasons it was that team roping and barrel racing initiatives were already in place, and there's been a mountain of data. Global Handicaps has their numbers, and the barrel racing, our partners at Equistat, have a mountain of data to support the earnings for the barrel racers. But Breakaway Roping, which, as our two guests know, is in a huge curve right now of growth, did not have anything. There's been some early implementation of the D system or format to some breakaway ropings. And it's not that we don't believe that that's healthy for the industry, but we believe we could take it a step further with creating this challenger pool of competition. And so that's really the reason behind it, JD, in a nutshell. Why this? Why now? It's because of Breakaway's growth and because of what we're already capable of doing in these other women's disciplines, that we're parlaying that into the Women's World Championship. And that was going to be the first opportunity that we were going to offer it. But we're pretty excited about some stuff we'll talk about shortly that'll make it even better.
So, Billie, we talked yesterday, and you've dug in and done a bunch of research, and I kind of pulled up our notes so that we could go through them. But talk to us a little bit from your perspective. Our goal, and I think, Scott, you alluded to it, the reason that we brought out the challenger concept with the WCRA and specifically the Women's Rodeo World Championships is to do basically what some other disciplines, namely barrel racing and team roping, what they have done, which has, from our perspective, and the data backs it up, has allowed this trajectory of new people being able to come into that discipline. And by discipline in rodeo, most people call it an event, breakaway, team roping, barrel racing. In our world, WCRA, we call it a discipline, and the actual rodeo where you compete, the event. But we wanted to take the success that we have seen in those specific two disciplines, barrel racing and team roping, and apply it to breakaway roping, and hopefully, with all of the excitement and energy going into breakaway, set it up for success for the long term. And so our goal in WCRA is to grow the sport, the whole sport, all of the disciplines, to include even the roughies, even the rough stock. So I know that you have done a lot of research. We appreciate you for that. And lay it on us, lady. Let's hear it.
For sure. Yeah, I have done a lot of research just trying to get ready for this meeting because, been here for like 27 years and just seeing in the growth, we're talking about trying to explain Challenger. And I said, well, just think about how they had to try to explain the 4D and how we had to explain classifications and how Wayne Needham had to explain his number system. And I said, everybody's had to go through this, and that's kind of what you guys are going through too. I want to say that I appreciate the WCRA for doing the heavy lifting and taking on the heavy lifting to make the sport grow. So I really do appreciate that. Barrel racing, for instance, I talked to Ross at BBR and had a great visit. It's 100 to 150,000 barrel racers from the 1 to the 5D. And the majority of the girls live in 3, 4, and 5D. And I think the reason for that is, new horses, getting into the sport, day jobs, kids. Not everybody can be pro and do it every day. And so it gives an opportunity for everybody to play. and participate in their sport that they love at the level that they would like to and still be competitive. Team roping, of course, we were with USTRC for 18 years. When Denny started it, he had 1,200 people or 1,200 members. And in a short period of time, he had 100,000 on the database because of classification. The classification, if you look at it today, they say there's 50, 55, 60,000 guys that are competing team roping. Of that, 70% of them are number 5 and below. And so those people are coming into the sport. Some of them live at that level, but some of them don't. They move up to higher numbers and become professionals. And a lot of them come through there to be professionals. I think it's amazing that they have that opportunity. And of course, you win money all along the way. Wayne Needham has done it in the calf open. He's done a really good job. He's numbered guys and moved them up the ranks to be professionals today. I think opportunity that, again, that's what you guys are trying to do with Breakaway, is to establish a really strong growth place for people to participate. I had a great talk with Billie Smith with horse. He's always kind of the guy that I go to as far as the purpose goes, cutting a horse. And if you look at cutting a horse, you have an pro professional. The majority of their membership is amateur and unlimited. That's like 65-70% of their memberships, because that's where horses, they buy horses, or get coaching. Guys train their horses, help them. I think that the reining, cutting, cow horse, and performance all live through amateur and unlimited, move up to become trainers. So again, I'm going to say that all of our industry, the different disciplines, all have a level to grow, and Breakaway now is going to have a level to really grow. So I really do appreciate the WCRA for all the heavy lifting of taking this on, because it's really a lot of work. You don't get credit for it. I'm going to give you all the credit, because it is a lot of work to take on the Challenger system. I'm really looking forward to having an event with it.
Well, we're excited to have you for sure. Have our inaugural Challenger Ropin, Billie. Scott, you were going to say something?
Well, I was just going to say, JD, what better authority to have on with us today to share some of that data, right? And so when back to the original question that you asked me, why Challenger, right? I think that data that Billie just dropped firsthand, you know what I mean? Like there's no denying the USTRC goes from 1,200 to 6 figures, I mean, that type of growth is the type of growth that we're shooting for. She mentioned the barrel racing, the calf roping, the reining and cutting, and the non-pro and so forth. Like the evidence is there to suggest that we can create this growth in rodeo.
Awesome. Well, let's jump right into who is a challenger, because I think that everybody is asking that question. And, we have worked tirelessly, and we've leveraged our relationship with our partners at World Series and USTRC, as well as Equistat. And so, Scott, why don't you just give us some definitions specifically for who is a challenger?
Absolutely. And a quick refresher course for anybody that, was on last time we talked about this, but a challenger in the breakaway roping last year in 2019, if you earned less than $7,000, you fall into the challenger pool competition. If over the course of 2018 and 2019, those earnings are south of $12,000, you fall into the challenger category. The breakaway roping, the data is over just 2 short years, because there's been such a growth curve. When we dove into the 3rd year, there weren't as many standalone events that paid near as much money, and we felt like that would hurt our efforts if we included 2017, because of the enormous growth that breakaways had the last few years. Team roping, really simple. Anybody that's team roping, male or female, knows what global handicaps is. And the team roping challenger level is a 9.5 team that's capped at a number 5 healer. We can't ignore the shortage of women healers out there, and there are some really, really good ones. And this event and these team ropings that we're going to talk about in our event in November alongside PBR is going to be a really bright opportunity for those 9.5 teams to compete for some huge money. And as Billie indicated that they saw through the USTRC over the years, we believe that those good team ropers will be better and so forth. They'll build. In the barrel racing, we were able to go way deeper because of our partnership with Equistat. As I said earlier, they have a ton of data. But basically, the earnings bar on an annual basis is $30,000. So if in 2019 you earn less than $30,000, you would be considered a challenger. Combine 17, 18, and 19, the earnings is $90,000. That's where we draw the line. Above it, you fall into the pro category. Below it, you fall into the challenger. And then we also went 5 years deep in the barrel racing. Like Billie said, there's new horses, there's horse injuries, there's things like that. There's comebacks, there's all of those types of things that affect the earnings capability of the rider. So over 5 years, you're looking at a number of $150,000. But as much opportunity for these people, these women that we will call challengers before the other disciplines of rodeo, there's opportunity, I believe, here for the young or for the not full-time professional athlete to really make some hay through these properties. Listen, these will be some of the only opportunities where, let's face it, moms with these 13, 14, 15-year-old daughters that are lightning fast in the breakaway roping can saddle up following their run and make a run in the challenger, or vice versa. You know what I mean? So we look to this to create an opportunity for, as we've said before, a lot of people to come off of the bench and have real and true earning opportunities in this challenger division. So who is a challenger? Do you think I framed it pretty well? Anything I missed?
I think you did great. And,
Really good.
you know, to add a little bit of color, the goal here is to allow a development league or a place where if you're coming off the bench, like you said earlier, we have beautiful success stories of ladies who are very competitive in high school and college that didn't want a barrel race. They loved to rope, and they didn't really want to go to regional rodeos or amateur rodeos. And because there wasn't that opportunity for big dollars and big to be able to compete at a big level on a big stage. And they became moms and developed careers, which is all wonderful. But now that these big opportunities are $1 million WCRA events that we have had, where women are winning $50,000 checks in the breakaway roping, to now the $750,000 women's rodeo world championships, there is a lot of opportunity now. And so we need to open up our arms and allow more ladies, more people coming in specifically to this discipline. And because it wasn't done, there wasn't this challenger path in breakaway, we decided to go ahead and tackle it. And so we may have some arrows in our backs, because oftentimes the one that's out there in the lead gets some arrows, but we're going to do our darndest. And we really did. Maybe Sammy Joe and or Scott, Sammy Joe, if you'd like to take the first stab at it, talk about the number of events and the data that we had to pour through at a kind of a high level in order to be able to feel confident that we have a good idea of where these ladies' earnings have come in the breakaway discipline.
Yeah, it became a full-time project for our staff there for a couple months, Scott, to really peel through the results for regional associations and their finals events, really associations across the entire country and their standings from the past 3 to 5 years. And so it was quite a process, but that's what's great about the BRQ and those participating and the help of these associations was being able to accomplish that. And so we have worked very hard to compile this information to correctly classify these ropers. And again, if it's a work in progress and we may, we're going to work with the athletes if they have disputes or they think maybe they should be a challenger and we don't have them as one, or vice versa. We're going to continue to build and grow this process and just make it better and better each year.
Fantastic.
I might add
Go
one
ahead,
thing.
Billie.
I went to Llano and actually got to see it on the big screen, and I will say hats off. It was amazing, all the work that you guys have done to get all the information and the data. Over 35 amateur rodeo associations digging to get all that information for the last 5 years. I'm saying hats off because there was a lot of work done. I was amazed when I seen it.
That's a good job to Sammy Jo and her team because
yes, extremely. I felt sorry for him looking at it.
and JD, just to kind of put a bow on that, it was north of 35 different associations, and I believe the top 8 to 10 standalone events, as well as all of the WCRA events from 2018 forward.
Yeah, and I think I just have to say Casey Duggan's name on this project too, because our staff went out and helped find the information, but he was really the one behind the screen compiling it all. And so, Casey, kudos to you too.
Good job, Case. Way to work. Let's throw up a question here because it's pertinent to this topic. When do you declare yourself as a challenger? How would you answer that, Sammy Jo?
Yeah, great question, Christy. And so what will happen is for these events where you're separated between a challenger or a pro, you will enter that. So for the Women's Rodeo World Championship, you'll enter the Open to the World class. And then our staff at that time will validate your earnings or validate your, global handicap number, whatever it may be. And we will then contact you and make you aware of where we classify you, whether it be a challenger or a pro. So you don't actually declare yourself. You'll enter the event, and then our team will classify you based on your earnings or your global handicap number.
Great answer.
And JD, I would just pile on to that to say, if anyone wants to inquire, that they can email support@WCRA and or call the 800 number. I think you'll have that scrolling across here at any given time. But if anybody's curious, now, generally speaking, all the definitions of what a challenger is or isn't are located at our website. Right. So those thresholds, we believe generally that people will be able to know last year if they earn, for instance, in the breakaway roping, if they think that they competed in one or two particular, regional rodeo associations, they can do the math pretty quickly and know where they stand, but they could email us or call us if they don't. And again, I would just ask for a tad bit of patience in that regard, as this is brand new. As Sammy Jo said a few minutes ago, we are drawing a line in the sand, and we are going to do this. And we have two great partners that will pile onto that here shortly. But to that end, we know this is new, but we are going to work diligently to get it right. And we know that we'll have challenges through the process. As Billie said, we've got to try to educate people on this. The best way to do it, have a couple of events and let people walk home with a pile of dough in their pocket. Yeah. And then we tell their story, and we let them tell their story to the world as well as the people that witnessed it. No better marketing than that grassroots type level. So you know, we ask for patience, but we're going to drive this thing home, and people are going to make a pile of money.
And Chris, I haven't forgot about you. Sorry we haven't brought you on, but I want to finish up this Challenger pool, because somebody might be thinking, and I think it's important to kind of have something to latch onto. And thank you, Sandy Curry, by the way, for giving us some props there. We appreciate you and all that you do to spread the WCRA love in the world of team roping and everything that you do. So this is a graphic image of the way that we envision, and this is a little bit of an old, so don't hold me just to this. Don't be taking screenshots and then you know, contacting customer support. But who would like to take a stab, Scott or Sammy Joe, at just a high level overview of when you get to the WRWC and you enter and you get placed into these Challenger pools? Why is that good? Why is that a good thing?
Sammy Joe, if you'd like, I could probably take that one.
Go for it.
So it's good, JD, because the challengers compete in their own pool, and the open or pro competition happens in its own pool. Now, you will not make it to the main event at the Women's Rodeo World Championship without slaying a few lions. You know what I mean? Everybody is going to have their day. But the key part about the challenger at this event and some others is that you have an opportunity to compete in that challenger pool before you step into the progressive round with those lions, right? So you have an opportunity to, you know, win your fees back, put gas in your tank, pay for your new ropes, whatever it might be along the way as you develop your craft and proceed through the event to the main event. So, you know, confidence builder, you know, I mean, let's look at it. I'm a huge Major League Baseball fan, right? And there's nothing sort of brighter than those rookies that get promoted in the middle of the season because they've got a hot bat, right? And they are killing it at the AAA level. The team brings them up, and that streak continues at the highest level of play, right? So imagine yourself in a challenger pool at the Women's Rodeo World Championship where you get to light that fire and you walk into that progressive round having beaten those who, you know, of like skill level, for lack of better words, and now you get in there with the Lions with all the confidence in the world to do the exact same thing. So to me, that's the beauty. The fact, and I think Billie will talk about this in a little bit, but those ladies in that challenger division are going to leave with checks where they have competed in that insulated space, if you will, or that like skill level space.
That's fantastic,
sure.
Scott. Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to bring Chris in right now, and we're jumping over you, Billie, but we've heard a little bit from you. Chris has been so patient. Just so everybody knows, the cat's out of the bag. Billie is hosting our very first Challenger roping at the Northern Breakaway Team Roping and Breakaway Championships in Rapid City coming up, and we're going to share details, dates, and where to enter and all of that here in a minute when we hear from her. But Chris, I want to hear from you a little bit because you're going to have the second Challenger roping for this event, for the Women's Rodeo World Championships, and talk to us a little bit about kind of why you feel like this is important from your perspective to give this challenger path.
Well, I just think it's great for all of us and for the whole sport to give another opportunity for, like we talked about earlier, there's several different reasons someone that may be in that challenger pool that can beat any one that's doing it for a living on any given day, whether that be if they were been off for a little while, or their horse has been out, or they're on a new horse, or their horse might have been crippled, or new job, family. There's all kinds of situations why it might put you at that challenger pool level. And it's just a great place to be able to come and compete and not have to compete against the lions, as Scott says.
Yeah. Talk to us about your roping. This is a brand new roping from Neal Productions. Where's it at? When is it? And I can even try to follow along with you here.
Absolutely. October 16th, 17th, and 18th at the Lazy E Arena in Guthrie, Oklahoma. We're going to have 20,000 added total for the weekend, plus a couple of celebrity matches you can see there. So we're pretty excited about everything that's going into this. We got a lot going on that weekend.
Well, come on, the celebrity match. You gotta hype it up a little bit. I mean,
well, you can see right there. What do you think?
The tie-down match is awesome, but
Chad Mayfield, the hottest guy in rodeo, hands down right now.
Right.
Versus the current world champ, Haven Medjid. So it doesn't get much better than that.
That's right.
For sure.
And then, never been done before. So excited about the breakaway match. Jackie Crawford, 19-time world champ. Everyone knows Jackie. She's kind of the face of a lot of the growth of breakaway right now. And what better way to do it than a fan vote, fan choice of who she is going to match. Both matches, by the way, will be $5,000 winner take all. But the breakaway match, never been done before. I mean, we've had some breakaway matches in the backyard, I'm sure. There's been a few Ropins, smaller level. I'm not saying this is the very first breakaway match, but on this stage at the Lazy E Arena, 10 head for $5,000 winner take all. I believe we're starting something here that hopefully catches on, and these girls get the opportunity to do it at other Ropins and other venues. It's gonna be a great thing for the sport, I think.
Absolutely. And talk a little bit about the fan favorite. Talk about how you're going to pick who matches Jackie.
So we're actually going to announce all this on the Cowboy Channel tomorrow.
What?
Yeah. So you can tune in tomorrow night and get all the details there. But we have a link on our Facebook page, on our website. Everyone's going to be able to go and vote for your fan favorite. We have actually handpicked 10 ladies that you're going to get to vote on. And we think we did a pretty good job selecting the 10. And you're going to get to go and vote and see who. We're going to vote off one girl per week for 10 weeks straight.
So you're going to vote them off the island, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, I won't steal Cowboy Channel's thunder. I was hoping I could get you to just give us the sneak peek on that release. Yeah, it's a little slip there. Thank you,
Chris.
Good job. Way to stick
Thanks
your
for
guns.
not letting us go viral.
you know what, and Chris and I, we've talked about this because back in the day, I used to go to Duval's jackpot and matches, and I've been in a few bulldogging matches and stuff. And I have a feeling that the smack talk and the side little, friendly wagers that are going to be happening at the Lazy E with specifically the breakaway deal is going to be so much fun. I mean, there is going to be a lot of jawing, a lot of excitement, a lot of energy about who's going to win that 10 header. It's going to be exciting.
Is there a Calcutta?
Oh, absolutely. You know that.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be an Okie.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be an Okie.
The heart of Oklahoma.
I love Calcuttas.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you're good at it too, because you won big. You were my big winner at the last Calcutta I had in Vegas. But for sure, we always have Calcutta.
Chris, just why don't you walk us through the different ropings that you are having on the other side of your flyer?
Okay, perfect. Well, so we're going to start out on Friday. The very first one right there you see is the WCRA Challenger on Friday morning. And we will even have a Calcutta with that, Billie. So
all right.
That'll be a 2-head and a short go for $250 plus a $50 nomination for the WCRA. Enter 2 times on that. So we're going to have that first thing Friday morning and hopefully go well into the afternoon. We are going to have an all-girl tie-down. It will be WPRA approved, all-girl tie-down. And then that afternoon, late afternoon, we will have the Twisted X 3D breakaway. It'll be one head and enter 3 times on that. So, and I've got a limit to 400 entries on that just because of the big roping the next day with the 10,000 added. Their numbers could be really big that day because you can enter 3 times. So,
Chris, why
yes.
don't, for somebody maybe who's new to breakaway and or have never been to a 3D breakaway roping, just give us the quick down and dirty on that. What is it? How does it work? How do you break this? What
So
are the
basically
splits?
how it works, it's very similar to the barrel race in the 3 or 4D. But for you that don't know, so it'll be half-second splits. So if 2 flat is the fastest time of the entire roping, you will win first in the 1D. And then a 2.5 would be first place in the 2D. A 3 flat would be first place in the 3D, or the closest to 3 flat. It may be a 3.1 would win first in the 3D. And we pay it out. The 1D would pay more than the 2D, and the 2D will pay more than the 3D. So there is a percentage break there. You know, you should get paid better if you place in a higher D. Great.
So some unique things about your roping and Billie's roping are we have the baked-in nominations is what we call it in both of the breakaway ropings, the challenger roping as well as the open roping. And what that means is that everybody who enters is getting essentially a discounted nomination. And so everybody has an opportunity to earn points. And we're super excited about that. We're not doing that in the tie-down roping at this specific roping. And I know that you've got a tie-down roping then on Sunday here, and everybody can read all about that. But and we are also offering something that we're offering with Billie's roping too. And I want to bring you back in here in a second, Billie. But let me pull up expanded points and just talk about that just a little bit. Scott, while I'm pulling that up, could you kind of just tee up the concept of our partnership with Billie and Chris and their respective events and why we felt compelled to offer this expanded points opportunity specifically with them?
100%. So to reset to a degree, I got to give Billie some kudos. You know, when she became involved in the focus group as an industry leader and obviously an authority and you know, she really understood where we were trying to go with this challenger thing. And we worked with the NBC last year. So I'll point out a few particulars about her event independently. So basically we said, how can we do what we did last August in Rapid, Billie, and I'll let you elaborate in a second, but how can we do that, add this challenger concept? You totally wanted to support the challenger effort in the team roping as well because of your background. So now it's called the Northern Breakaway and Team Roping Championship. And that both of those disciplines at this event will have added money, very generally speaking. Both of those disciplines will have the challenger level roping. So very unique opportunity and first to market, if you will, in support of what we're doing. Billie just kind of went all in with their event and actually helped us, has helped us enormously with other promoters. But yeah, it looks like you're pulling some info up on her event, and we can rattle through it pretty quickly. But you've got the Challenger Breakaway, 4,000 added, 2 and a short. Should be noted at this point in time that Chris's breakaway is exactly the same. But the Northern event will have 4,000 added in the Challenger, which is huge, right? Especially to kick off this Challenger concept. Then you've got the Open Breakaway with 8,000 added. There's also another Breakaway Roping that weekend. There's a lot of opportunity for the breakaway ropers with this event and the additional events happening in the Rapid area. Billie can elaborate on that. Then she has the Open team roping and the Challenger or the handicapped 9.5 roping all have added money. As you said earlier, JD, the special relationship here is them both hosting these Challenger events, and they're also utilizing the WCRA entry or the Rodeo Logistics Rodeo entry tool or entrytool.com. The unique thing that's going to create for us, and I want to let Billie just elaborate on her event for a minute, and then we'll get to that expanded point capability because of this raised level of relationship between us and these two promoter partners. So Billie, tell us a little bit about, as Chris did on his, just maybe tell us why us, why Challenger, if those aren't obvious already, and then just give us some of the intricacies of your event.
Okay. Well, I want to start off about brag a little bit about last year. Last year was our first time to have a relationship with you, the WCRA, and you guys had set it up to where we had automatic points, and we have to go back and say I had 95 girls, a great event, but our winner was Kelsey Chase that went on to win Kansas City for $50,000. So we have to say that's huge. So that's what started the relationship, and I have to give kudos again to WCRA. You've had 5 major events for $500,000. All these girls have been paid $50,000. I mean, that's what started this off. And then I said I was going to go back. I was going to do it again. We've been working a lot on the Challenger. So you guys had asked me, asked me to have a Challenger, and really it was hard to kind of figure out how we were going to do it. And so we just decided to have it first. I want to have good added money to it. We have $4,000 added to it. Then we have the Open. And honestly, it's right during Range Day Rodeo in Rapid City. So it's the pro rodeo. There's unlimited entries. John at the event center, Black Hills Stock Show, is putting it all on, and a girl can come there. My thought on the whole event is, for the breakaway girl, if you're going to drive there, I would just enter all 3. For under $1,000, you can enter all 3 and have 7 chances to win money. At our event, basically, I would just enter both ropings. Really, the WCRA is going to tell you if you can't because you've won too much money. But hey, man, I just take a chance. I just go ahead and enter it. Every time you back in the box, it's for money and points. And then we get extended points. It's a great, great opportunity. We have, like I said, 2 goes, 30% each go. The average is going to pay 40% of the pot. Great added money, $16,500 with all the prizes. It should be right at $30,000. We have some great sponsors. We're looking forward to being the first Challenger. I think that the girls, honestly, don't make it so hard. There's a lot of points. Win you're in. They're giving us the opportunity. They're giving us 4 tickets, 4 win you're ins. So if you win the Challenger, you're in the top 16 when you get to Vegas. If you win the Open, you're in the top 16. If you win the 9.5 in the team roping, you're in the top 16. So it's great opportunity. You guys have given us lots of great tools, meaning points, when you're in. We're trying to give money. You're giving them the opportunity to go win $60,000. I think it's a great event. I'm honored to get to be a part of it. I think it's great for all the girls in the North because we're kind of taking it to them. Chris does such a good job down here that he has so many events down here. A lot of those girls in the North don't get that opportunity. And really, we do a lot of work with John up at Rapid City. We really like going up there, and we give all the girls in the North a lot of opportunity that all the girls down here get. So I'm really looking forward to a great event.
Let's talk a little bit about the expanded points. We teed on it.
I'd like just, JD, let me just add one thing on what she said right there. I think that's very important. About she said when you come, enter everything. That's one thing we need to stress for these challengers, that they don't just have to enter the challenger just because you've won that 7,000 or less. You know, you're already there. You need to enter both. You're there to enter both. You've already spent the fuel and traveled, whether you're coming to Rapid City or Lazy E or where you're coming from. It's just another opportunity to rope. And I know Billie's is set up the same way as mine, is the challenger is first before the open. So you're going to get a few, worst case scenario, you're going to get a few practice runs before the 8,000 added or the 10,000 added at the Lazy E roping. So be sure that you don't miss an opportunity. You're already there to enter both.
Well, yeah, and you're going to feel like $1 million because you got a pocket full of dough from the first roping, right?
Well, yeah,
so nobody
then
in the
on their
open's
money the
beat
next
you
day
either,
for
right?
the open. Absolutely.
Great point. Great point.
Great point.
Scott, do you want to take a stab at the expanded points and just we'll spend 2 minutes on it?
Absolutely, JD. And before you pull that up, I want to reiterate what Billie said. In both of these ropings, the challenger format is the same. Now, both of them have nominate and win you're in opportunities. Just as Billie said, you went at the Northern Breakaway and Team Roping Championship. There's a win you're in at the challenger level. There's a win you're in at the open in both the team roping and the breakaway. Right. And as we talked about earlier, the nomination is a part of the entry fee. So everybody that's in is nominated. So you enter these events and you win them, you're going to be in the fast track, the first round at the November event, running against 15 other girls for 4 spots to get straight to the main event where there's guaranteed money. Right. So nominate when you're in is crucial. At Chris's event, we have it right now in the open. And we're hoping that we're able to offer that in the challenger as well. But we'll make that announcement later if we are. But in the meantime, the nominate when you're in at Oklahoma's Richest is in the open breakaway. Second thing, expanded points, right? And before you bring it up, I just want to talk about this quickly.
I've got my finger on the button.
I know.
On the button, and I'm wanting to bring it up.
The barrel racers might know a little bit about expanded points because the first time that we debuted that was last December with our partners at the All In Las Vegas. And what expanded points do, very simply put, is they give more points to more people. When we have this type of alliance relationship with the event producer, understand this. Normal competition points we can only give away to the people that win checks because those are the only people that make the print when the results come out. So if you're one hole out, the WCRA doesn't have a way to digest that or understand it. But when we have a direct relationship with the promoter where we're taking the entries, the nominate when your ins are available, we can now award points to people deeper in the field. So I'm going to ask you to pull this chart up and try to simply, pull the chart up and I'll try to simply explain it.
Let's talk about the value of the points really quick, right? So being in the top 64 on the women's leaderboard before October or by October 11th will make you eligible to advance to the Women's Rodeo World Championship in the WCRA pool. So ultimately, that's everybody's goal, right? I want to have enough points to be in the leaderboard in the top 64 by October 11th so I can compete in the WCRA pool at the Women's Rodeo World Championship.
Absolutely.
So,
which is no entry fees, complimentary entry fees, right? So, and running at all the money. Great point, Sammy Joe. So JD's pulled this chart up, and what this explains is a Division II event. The first column is the places paid. The second column is in a standard Division II event. For the average, now on this chart that you're on, currently you could pay as many as 10 holes or WCRA points would pay as many as 10 deep to those who received a check. So first would get 165 points and 10th place would get 15. But guess what? If you're 11th, you're subject to either consolation points at an alliance event or nomination points, which are even lower at any standard event. So as you can see clearly in this chart, what expanded points will do, you still get the same amount of points for first place, and you still get the same amount of points for 20th place. But because we work directly with the promoter, we know who was 11th, 13th, 17th, right? We can now give them those points. Looks like we might be having a little trouble with JD's feed. Is that happening for my other three best friends right now?
Yep.
I think so.
Okay, so we might have lost JD's feed. Looks like we're still live. The clock's ticking.
Live. Are we good?
Yeah,
Yep.
we're back. You're back. You're
Sorry.
back.
I don't know what happened.
So as that chart displayed, and I'm sure JD will get it back up there. There we go. So for instance, in a normal circumstance where expanded points are not available, if you finished 11th, you would just get your alliance consolation points, which is half of last, which would be 7.5 points, right? Sammy Joe, throw something at me if I'm wrong. But 11th through 20th and the remainder of the field would get those consolation points. In this situation, 11th place is going to get 60 points, right? And the key thing to keep it simple and not go too deep is that's 6 times the points, right? For 11th place. And points are going to be a premium to be in the top 64 at the leaderboard. Right.
Hey, could I, Scott, just so we can contextualize just a little bit, and it's probably why my computer went on the fritz, but for segment W20, which is the Women's Rodeo World Championships, I pulled up the breakaway discipline. And as you can tell right here, to put it in context, Anna Jorgensen has 21.25 points. Okay. Now, if you go to the Northern Breakaway Championships and or Chris's roping in October, and you hit a lick, because there are expanded points at both of those ropings, how many did Anna have? Let me look here.
21.
21.5.
21.25. So in an expanded point scenario, you win 18. At this snapshot in time, you win 18th in the aggregate, in the average at either one of their ropings, and you are in the top 64 now,
or the finals, right? So this is either the average or the finals, and then we have the go round chart, right? That we
right. So this expanded points is really important, and I can click into a go around in a Division II. Sammy Joe, if you want to talk about that a little bit.
And just to fact check what we were just talking about with Scott, the consolation points are half of the base in a go round. So for a Division II, it would actually be 4.5 points that somebody would normally receive for placing 11th. But with the expanded in a go round, 11th place would receive the 31.5 points. So it's just a great opportunity for us to work with our partners. And again, thank you, Billie and Chris, for providing this opportunity for these athletes. It's such an awesome way to, even if you're out of the money, you're still going to earn points to be on the women's leaderboard to advance the Women's Rodeo World Championship. What an awesome opportunity. And like Billie mentioned, like Chris mentioned, if you enter all of the ropings, holy cow, look at the points you could walk away from entering each class. So definitely worth the money and the time. And we hope that everybody shows up and enters these events.
Yeah, and it might be good to know for somebody who's watching this live stream, if you're in the Southeast, if you're on the West Coast or the Pacific Northwest, and you would like to have this type of a relationship with us, we make it pretty easy. We provide you a lot of resources and a lot of tools, and we We try to do a good job of partnering with you to market your events, just like we're doing with Chris and Billie here. Reach out to Rob Smets, reach out to us on the 800 number, or support at WCRArodeo.com. I'll throw that up here in a little bit, or comment in this thread. If you're a promoter in an area, I mean, Chris has got the Midwest covered really good in Oklahoma there, and Billie's got her great event in the Dakotas. But we are looking for other alliance partners to do these marquee type of events where we can feature the Challenger Ropin, and we can extend some of these benefits that we're talking about here today. Do we want to just show quickly the Division 4 points in an expanded scenario? And if anybody wants to see this, just reach out to us, and I'll throw up the support numbers here again. Does anybody want to talk about that? It's pretty straightforward. 10th place in a Division 4 in the average or finals, if there's a short round, would be 5 points. In a normal scenario, it's 30. 10th place is 30th. In an expanded is 30 points in an expanded point scenario. And then in a go around, let me click on the right place here. Go around, 10th place is 3, and it's 16.5 in the expanded point scenario. Billie or Chris, do you all have any thoughts or questions or comments about any of this that we've just gone through?
Not really. It looks like a great opportunity for extra points. I mean, the graph shows it all right there, that, like you said, you could maybe go to both of these ropings and never win a check, and it might lead you to that $50,000 check at Lazy E, or in Las Vegas, or $60,000 check because of the points
For sure.
that you can acquire. So
yes,
that's exactly it. If they can just, to me, I say enter it. Enter the challenge, enter the open, enter the rodeo. Go take a chance, because every round is back in the box. It's for money and a lot of points. And how can you not take that chance? It's just a great opportunity for us all to be able to work with you guys. For the girls to get to run with that kind of money in Vegas, it's a huge opportunity. Huge.
Yeah, there may be some people that haven't been to an event or haven't got any points yet, start at 0, that jump up there and go all the way. I mean, there's so many points left at just these last 2 go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to say, what they're trying to say is, if I have 4 different ropings, so the Challenger Ropin, I probably will have, 15 to 17 checks that girls will get. The 9.5, I'm having an open team roping by itself. Pick one, draw one, enter twice. And then we're having a 9.5 team roping. Enter one, pick one, enter twice. 5 cap, header healer 5 cap, and then we're having seconds off. It's a handicap. So if it's a 6 team, you get 3 seconds off. If it's a 7 team, it's 2 seconds off. If it's an 8 team, it's a second off. So, I mean, really, girls that haven't roped in a while, or maybe haven't competed in team roping for a while, can come to this event. We're giving checks away in the first round, the second round, the average. We're giving points away. You could walk out of that 9.5 making more points than the open, or enter the open and the 9.5. So we were really trying to set it up to where every time you back in the box, it's for huge opportunity. I just think it's going to be awesome. We're really looking forward to it. Rapid City is excited to see us. I wanted to say a shout out for, we got a minute here, for the high school finals. Our winner in the team roping was a girl, Quincy Sullivan. She won the team roping, and it just made my day for women's rodeo world championships, because you don't see a lot of girls in the short round at high school. They do good, but this girl ended up just knocking one down in the 6 hole and just went ahead and beat all those boys. It was just really good to see.
Yes.
They all tried to be 3 flat, and she just was a really great run at 6 flat. Hats off to Quincy. It was great to see. I'm going to make a little shout out to the Breakaway girls at the high school finals. They had top 20. You had 17 different states in the short round. So I just wanted to say, huge opportunities for us, huge opportunities for the Women's Rodeo World Championships. The numbers are great in junior high and high school for women. I think that the PBR and the WCRA have done a great job of really highlighting women and adding the money. They've never had this kind of opportunity before. I just think it's going to be great.
Fantastic. Kind of parting words or things that we need to share. I wanted to share the upcoming Nominate Win You're In events. And before we do that, Billie, when do your entries open for the Northern Breakaway and Team Roping Championships?
August 4th through the 11th.
August 4th through the 11th, next week. So everybody can go to entrytool.com. You will see the Northern Breakaway and Team Roping Championships, the different ropings listed in entrytool.com, and you'll be able to enter there. And you'll be able to enter Chris's roping. And Chris, when do your entries open up for Oklahoma's Richest?
They'll open August 15th.
August
15th, and we close them.
One thing I need to say is that for the team roping, you have to have a global handicap number before you enter with the WCRA and before you can walk up to enter. We are going to take walk-up entries. We embrace them. We look forward to them. But for the team roping, you have got to have a global handicap card before you walk up to enter and before you go onto the WCRA website. Sammy Joe will have all the instructions on how to do that, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody understands that they have to have a global handicap number before they can participate.
Great. And Chris, your entries open August 15th and close when?
And they close September 30th. Yes.
September 30th. Great.
September
Sammy
30th.
Joe, talk us. I'm sorry, were you going to say something?
I think we're about to say the same thing. What are the entry dates for the Women's Rodeo World Championship?
Yes, go ahead.
So early entries are open now at $500, and they remain open until August 17th. Then we transition to midterm entries, which are $625, and that happens until August 31st. And then at that point, we go up to the full price $750 entry fee, and that remains open until October 18th. So go to entrytool.com to enter all of these events, which is just awesome. And if you have any questions, reach out to our team, support@wcrarodeo.com, or call us at 833-ENTER-UP. And also, just one more thing, if you're hunting to be in the leaderboard for the top 64, you can also compete in the open at the Women's Rodeo World Championship. So don't wait, get in, get that $500 entry fee. Barrel racers, remember, you can roll over your time between the open pool and the WCRA pool. So a lot to be said for that, but definitely don't wait. Get that $500 entry fee. It stays open until August 17th.
And where can people find the current flyer that I have up on the upcoming?
Yeah, so this flyer that's open is the upcoming Nominate Win You're In events for this week. It will be shared on our Facebook pages, WCRA Rodeo, WCRA Athletes. But yes, this is a complete list of the upcoming Nominate Win You're Ins for this week. And then if you go to womensrodeoworldchampionship.com, we have the complete list of Nominate Win You're In events listed there as well, where you'll see Billie's event and Chris's event listed there too.
Great. Wow, we got through a lot today, and we've been at it an hour and 3 minutes. Does anybody have anything else that Scott? I'll just go to each one of you. You got anything?
Well, yeah, thanks, JD. I want to say thanks to Billie and thanks to Chris for their partnerships with these events. We thought that we had a good idea with the Challenger concept to debut it, and these relationships have been built here pretty much immediately in support of that and in advance of that. And if that's any indicator, I think things are pretty exciting for the women's breakaway and the women's team roping. And listen, doing this and setting the tone, I couldn't pick two better people or partners to be in business with to launch these Challenger events. And WCRA will have a presence there at both of their events to talk and answer questions and things like that. So whatever you didn't get today, it's a lot. It's deep and wide, but it goes that way with everything we're doing. But listen, look at the money available in these two events and these new categories of challenger. And quite frankly, to some degree or another, that money and that opportunity may not have been there without us all working together. So doesn't that equal growth, right? Ultimately, that's what we're after. And we have two great partners, and we look forward to these two great events. And you can find any and all information you need either with them or us. Just pick up the phone or log on and find us on the web.
Perfect.
Chris, any parting words?
I'd just like to say thank you guys. Thank you all for the WCRA, everything that you're doing. Thank you. I think this is going to create so much growth for the sport and the industry in a whole. Everything that you guys are doing, the equal money for the women is huge, where the breakaway is exploding right now. And just to add to all of this opportunity that we're doing. So everyone, I know it is a lot new. Some people aren't catching on, or don't know, or don't understand yet, but I promise you it is going to be the next big thing, and it is going to be a huge hit. You might as well get on the bandwagon early here, and don't miss an opportunity, because it's going to be great.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for your patience too, by the way, with us as we figure all this out together. Billie, parting thoughts?
Oh, I'm just grateful. I can't say enough about you guys. I think you've done a great job. I really, really appreciate WCRA and everything they've done for the sport of rodeo. Honestly, it's been a huge benefit to our family, a huge benefit to our company. I think it's been huge for women. If you guys wouldn't have had the 50,000 in Breakaway, there's a lot of things that wouldn't be happening right now. So thank you very much for being the first one to do the Breakaway. I give you guys all the credit for I'll say it, for the Americans and the Cheyennes and all of them to step up to the plate. If you guys wouldn't have done it, they would have never done it. So thank you so very much. Appreciate everything.
Well, we appreciate you, and thank you for being willing to give away some gift cards last week on behalf of Classic and Rattler. So that was great. Sammy Joe, parting words.
Thank you, everybody. Reach out to our team with questions. And again, we just appreciate our partners so much. And Billie, Chris, thank you.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Appreciate your time. And this is available. You can watch it later. Share it with your friends. We appreciate you. Thank you.